Hey guys, this is a 1997 Toyota Camry. I want to show you guys a quick trick on how to get the CV axle out on the driver's side if it's stuck. This may apply to the other side in other vehicles. So what I ran into is you couldn't get a pry bar around the end. So the first attempt I did was put some heavy weight on the very end of it and screwed a nut over it. And this came right out in one pull. This is about 25 pounds here. Now the problem was the inner piece, which this literally just came out a minute ago. I decided might as well post it so someone else can use it quicker. I had to probably take about 30 minutes to figure out. After many tries, this pulled right out. So this is the inner piece that goes in the the transaxle, the transmission, and that's the ring that's going to prevent you from getting it pulled out. On some CV axles, they don't really have any indentions where you can pry out with the pry bar, and you might even crack the transmission or the transaxle case if you try too hard, unless you have like a 90-degree hook, and then you'll need two of them, and they'll each probably need to be about 3-4 feet, so you're gonna have to have an engine lift. Another thing you can do is take your intake box off the top, take that plastic cover off, but I didn't have a good feeling about it because it's just about the same angle with the pry bars, so I didn't want to risk damaging the transmission or transaxle. So what I did was I got some strong rope, and where it goes into the transaxle, I pulled the two ends even, pulled it out, just wrapped it constantly around in this inner piece as far up in there as I could so it'd catch on that lip. And on the very end, I made sure each strap comes out on the opposite side, and then I had two vice grips to kind of hold those straps. I kind of hook them over it. So that's what I pretty much did. Wrapped it quite a bit of times, and I let one side catch on one vice grip, and then the other side, this was tight, and then I let it catch like that, loop it around till it was in the middle, and then I twisted it up so the rope was pretty much pulling from the center. Then I just used a hitch, which that's all I had because I'm on the job mobile, and tied it around here. It came from the side and just pulled it straight out and jerked it really hard, and it flung right out. Did the job perfect. You can see where that axle and that came apart the first time when I tried that attempt. So when this was the only piece left in there, you really don't have many options. So this is going to be your safest option and the least expensive too. Just make sure you wind it up probably, I'd say, at least 8 times around. That way it kind of catches on itself. You could also probably use some plastic zip ties and kind of put it over in here, over the rope, and then help it catch more, or you can use vice grips. To start taking the CV axle out, what you got to do is obviously take the wheel off. Once you get your wheel off, you'll have a clip to the middle, needle nose, and then for the socket size, I use 1.25 inches. Yours might be this, or 1 1/8, 30 millimeter or 32 millimeter. So if you grab a set, rent it from O'Reilly's or AutoZone. Then I took these two out, these two bolts. There's a nut on this side, nut on this side, a bolt that goes through. That's what connects these. Those are 22 millimeters. So put your wrench on this side, your impact gun or your breaker bar on this side. Take the nuts off, and then if they don't want to come out easily, you can put your impact gun on this side, screw them out, or tap on it lightly with a hammer from this side, so the bolt head comes out that way. You'll also have I believe it's a 10 millimeter here, 10 or 12 millimeter. So you want to take that off so you don't damage your ABS sensor or your caliper. Your ABS sensor is going to be up underneath here with a 10mm. Make sure to take that out before you start wailing on everything so you don't damage it. And then you can clean it off with some brake cleaner when you're done and gently put it back on, just for making sure it stays in good shape. I'm also replacing the tie rod end. This, I believe, was a 15mm, and then obviously you have your little pin that goes through here. It's the same as the one in here. So just use needle nose pliers and maybe like a little flathead screwdriver and a vice grips and pull that out, take that nut off. If this decides to spin, this joint, while you're taking the nut off, put some vice grips on the other side of the hole, down vice grips here, and then take your nut off from the bottom, and it'll catch this from moving. And I also took off the stabilizer link because I'm replacing that, but I think that's a 14 or 15mm, another one of those, and everything's pretty self-explanatory. Just make sure your CV axle matches up good, and I might post later in this video putting the new one in, but it's pretty simple. Just make sure to put some anti-seize on the shafts when you put them in, and then check your transmission fluid when you're done, because it will leak some fluid out of that seal when you pull this thing out. Just be really gentle with it and make sure you get it seated well. Make sure you put a lot of anti-seize, or if you got some grease, something just to help it go in smoothly and prevent it from rusting as well as tearing the seal. Hope this video helped. Thanks for watching.